Next up, we are going to have Nat Jackson, the Jumprope King himself, deliver a message, talk to us about his purpose, the purpose for Jump for Life, and his mission. So if you guys could give another round of applause for the Jumprope King, the reason for the season. Just keep clapping. Just keep clapping till he appears.
It's an absolute delight and a blessing to be here. You know, I was thinking as I was driving down here, one of my classmates underwent a triple bypass yesterday. We're 1 year apart. Half of my class is already dead. And those of you who received my letter requesting a donation where I said that I was a child in the 50s, living on a cotton plantation in Louisiana. And we were as close to nobody as you could have been. 3.5 miles from church, and we went to church every Sunday without fail. That period of time, we did not own a vehicle. There was this one little teacher and her sister, Sunday school teacher, who taught Sunday school at church. Then she drove down a major 2-lane highway, off onto a dusty road, and then down to our little shack. And that's sometime the temperature was 95 degree with 90 degree or so humidity. And she taught us Sunday school. And the one thing we did in our family, in our community, is that all kids, children belong to us. You stood up for the children. If you give your life for anybody, at any time, nothing is more important than our children, because they are our future. I watch a lot of National Geographic, but before I get to that, I want to say that it was a blessing to have lived on that cotton plantation. And it was humiliating. You'd have a watermelon man who was 25 years old come up and ask for my father by his first name, and he was 56 years old. It's humiliating. And then other similar situations in that Southern Jim Crow system, which was the United States, which was our country. This country is part of what we've come through and come from, and hopefully none of us will ever be catapulted back into that. But it gives you a perspective about your country. The good, bad, and the ugly in your life, not in a book, that you touched and felt, and you lived it. And you learn quick, fast, and in a hurry, as Art Fletcher used to say. There's nothing more important than the children. It's on our watch, folks. The data is clear. If the current trend continues, this generation of children are going to be on this earth for a shorter period than their parents. Now, okay, so what does that mean? It means that they're going to get sicker younger, and they are. It means that they're going to be sicker more often, and they are. And they're going to be sicker more severely. And their great reward is an early death. The shortest in the history of the United States for a young generation. We cannot sit still and let that happen. Now, the last time, Dennis will know I was Rotary president at that time with the Olympia Rotary Club. James Bird Jr. in a little town in Jasper, Texas, was dragged to death behind a pickup truck. What kind of animal would do that? But that's the reality. And I went there 13 times. But most people don't know why I did that. The primary motivator was my Rotary Club. I will explain to you that I was the only black president of that club, the first. And I don't know whether I'm the last, I'm sure I won't be. But it's okay to say it that way. But literally every member came to me. Alan Miller, Dennis Adams, and so many others said, President Matt, we are so sorry about what happened. And finally it occurred to me that I had some responsibility for that. Because I am an American. It happened in our country. I can do something about it. So I took the power and encouragement of my Rotarians and all of the support that they provided for the golf tournament and went down there on my own for 13 trips. Met a family that I didn't know, and I became like their family. And they insisted, and I remember the Southern hospitality, they insisted that I not go to the hotel, that I sleep in their home, and I did. And I was there about 3 times before I discovered I was sleeping in James Bird Jr.'s bed, which was fine. But here's the bottom line. That tenacity and that lack of hopelessness and the power of believing that we can make a difference, not deferring, standing straight on, face it, we can make a difference. What happened as a result of that trip, those trips? Well, we took $1.5 million condolences across the nation for the Bird family, across the world. Set up a website for them. We raised more than $75,000 for them for a foundation. I ended up bringing family members who would fly, because believe it or not, everyone doesn't fly. They're afraid. So only certain sisters would fly. We went to Beverly Hills Rotary Club, we went to the Seattle Rotary Club, and we went all around. We came in Olympia, we had a reception here. They were at our golf tournament. But the bottom line is that we ended up improving our country. We came up with and were a significant part of passage of a national hate crime bill. So it just goes to show what we can do when we step out. And the fact of the matter is, my wife will tell you, I didn't have time. Nor did I particularly have the budget at the time. But I had the heart and the absolute determination that I couldn't have this happen on my watch. Mr. Bird had a son and a daughter who were in the United States military. At the time, he was screaming for his life and dragged to death. I couldn't stand there and do nothing. So when we step out here today, this is the beginning. This is one of the greatest feelings you can have. Your friends, your loved ones, your family, the people who know you, step forward to try and send you off. They believe in you enough to show up on this warm day here at this venue. And there are thousands of things that all of you have to do. So, a heartfelt thank you. And I just promise you that I won't stop. The good thing is I benefit from what I'm doing. I'm getting better and better as I go. And I thank God for that. First and foremost, I thank my family. I thank my community. And today, let me say, I thank you, each one of you. And I'd like for you to give yourself a round of applause for me, please. hold a minute. Now, wait a minute. There's a round of applause and there's a round of applause. So what I want today, for what you've done here today, is a round of applause. Please. Thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you. Now, I'm a little nervous about this record.
Okay.
And when I get up there jumping,
Okay.
I can feel it when you show me some love. And so I'm going to ask you to replicate what you just did.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.